everybody, Miss Melissa here from the East Greenwich Free Library, ready to teach you how to make your very own sock snowman. It's super simple, it doesn't require any sewing. I provided all the materials that you need in a kit. The only things you'll need to provide for yourself are some tacky glue or hot glue, some scissors, and then anything extra that you would like to decorate your snowman. Now let's take a look at what came in your kit. Everybody's kit will include a bag of rice, 2 socks, 1 white and 1 patterned or colored, 5 buttons, and 2 rubber bands. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is grab your white sock. This is going to be the body of the snowman. You're also going to grab the rice that you have. You should have just enough rice to make your snowman. If it's not quite full enough for you and you have some rice at home, feel free to add some. But I did provide enough for everybody to make their own snowman without needing anything at home. Now, if you have a funnel, that's the easiest way to pour the rice in. If you do not, what I did is I poured mine into a little narrow cup so that I have a little bit something easier to pour to guide the rice into the bag, into the sock, because the bag is kind of flimsy and you don't want to spill rice everywhere. All right, so I'm going to push wide in the sock opening. If you have a parent or another sibling that can help hold the sock while you pour, that's also very helpful. And I'm going to pour this cup in, and you'll see it in. And go ahead and start filling those socks up. Something you might notice is that the rice fills the sock pretty quickly, but it's actually not full. If you just kind of push the rice down, set it on a table, and force the rice down, all of a sudden all the rice was full. Now my sock is only like half full. And that's about perfect for the snowman that we're gonna make. Like I said, if you want to make your snowman even bigger and you have rice at home, you can always add to the rice that I provided. But this little round half a sock is about perfect for the snowman. Once you have this little wad of rice in the bottom and you've pushed it all down, now you're gonna kind of twist the sock right here so that the rice doesn't escape. Hold that in place. Once you've got that, you can also grab a rubber band that I provided, and you're gonna wrap this rubber band around the top of this sock so that the rice doesn't get out. And just keep on wrapping until it's nice and secure. Go. If your rubber band breaks or you don't feel secure with the rubber band and you have some string at home, you can also tie some string to keep that sock closed as well. Sometimes it might even be nice if you're using hot glue or tacky glue, if you pull the sock down so you can see where the elastic is holding it shut. If you want to put just a little bit of glue there, just as an extra, I've got a hot glue gun. Just as an extra barrier, it doesn't hurt. Anything to help keep that rice out. If you can see, I put some glue right in the center. And I'm just gonna close it up and kind of feel that shut right there. And there's the body of your snowman. Now, it doesn't look like much yet, and as you can see, you've got a lot of extra sock here. So you wanna trim some of that sock off. Move the camera a little bit. You wanna trim some of this sock. You can certainly take some scissors, and you don't want to cut it too close because you don't want to risk opening up the rice, but that's all that you really need. There you go. Now, right now it just looks like a ball, and that's not quite what a snowman is shaped like. Snowman needs at least two balls, right? Because it needs a head and it needs a body. That's where the second rubber band comes in. The second rubber band, you're going to take it and you're going to kind of wrap it around about 1/3 down, and you're going to take it and you're going to wrap it around one more time in that same spot. Be careful not to mess up the elastic on top that's holding everything together. And you'll see when you put that second elastic in, it kind of separates a head out. If you push it in, the rice will give with it. And now that head is going to become much more defined. So you've got your head and your body. Now the hard work is done and you are ready to decorate your snowman. This is where it gets really fun. I give everybody a decorative sock. If you don't like your sock or you have a spare sock at home that you would rather use instead, feel free to use whatever you have at home, or even if you just have spare fabric, that's fine too. What I like to do is I like to use the top of the sock as a little hat. So I'm just going to cut the toe of the sock right off and put it right on top of my snowman. And that makes a pretty natural looking hat. You can fold it all the way down, or if you wanted your hat to have a little lip, you can also fold it up a little bit. I didn't provide pom-poms, but if you wanted, if you have a pom-pom at home, you could also glue a little pom-pom on top. Now this is pretty secure already, but I'm going to add a few dots of glue around the edges just to make sure that it stays in place on the snowman's head. So let me go ahead and do that. Again, I'm using a hot glue gun, and if you have a hot glue gun at home, I want you to make sure that you are very careful or you're doing it with an adult, because hot glue guns can get very hot too. And I'm just doing a little dot, 4 dots, one on each side of the snowman to kind of keep things in place. If you don't mind the hat falling off, you don't have to do this step, but it definitely helps keep things in place. And I'm even going to put a little dot on the inside of the sock just to keep the lip of my hat up. All right, there's my snowman. Now, we still have a lot of that sock left over. So if you want, I'm gonna make a scarf with mine. You can do any sort of clothing you want on your snowman. If you're gonna do a scarf, you can do it in a few ways. If you wanted just a wraparound scarf, you could just cut another little circle. I'll show you what that would look like. If you just cut a little strip right here. That could just wrap right over. And you don't even need to do anything to that because that's going to stay right there in that little nook. If you wanted maybe a little bit more of a traditional scarf look, you could even still do this. I'm going to move this one in case. You could do that, or you could cut a strip of fabric over here. So you've got lots of fabric left on this sock. You could cut a little strip cut a little, oops, it's curling on me, strip like this, and you could wrap it around. My strip's not quite, I didn't cut a long enough strip, but you know what, you could also cut a couple of them and piece them together. So I could glue them like this if I wanted to. Make a little, oops. Glue a couple of pieces together to make a long scarf. Like that. Or you could even take your collar scarf that you already made Put that around and maybe just tie a little bit. Tuck a little bit of this extra one in to make it so that it looks like it folds out. And I can show you again how I did the scarf since I know it was a little out of camera. All right, so just again to show you how I did that final scarf, I took the ring that I clipped off of the edge of the sock and I wrapped it around. And then I took this little strip, extra strip, and I tucked it into the front. So that it just looked like it was a little tied scarf, like that. Now let's work on gluing the buttons that I provided. I give everybody 4 buttons, 2 for the front of the snowman and 2 for eyes. And again, I'm using hot glue, so bear with me here. And be careful if that's also what you're using. I've got 2 little eyes, 1 eye, and oops. Two eyes. And I'm going to move my scarf aside so I can get those little front buttons on as well. One. And 2. I said I gave everybody 4 buttons. That's wrong. I actually gave you 5 buttons so that you also have a little button nose. Again, if you don't like the buttons or you have something else that you would prefer to use at home, that's fine. But there's your snowman. All right, everybody, I hope you learned how to make a cute snowman. I hope it wasn't too hard for you. I hope you had a lot of fun with it. If you'd like to share a picture of the snowman that you created, I'd love to see it. Please feel free to share. You can send any pictures to me at egchildren@gmail.com. And until next time, bye.